Okay, we are going to cast on stitches. And you have your yarn, you have the ball of yarn, and you have your 2 needles, right? So what I'm going to do with my yarn is I'm going to pull out about, I guess about 24 inches. So about 24 inches of yarn, right? And what I'm going to do with the end of this ball of yarn, with this point right here, is I am going to create a way of holding the yarn so that my 2 fingers is going to be draped over my 2 fingers, and then I'm going to grab the ends with my other parts of my hand. Then I'm going to take one of my needles. I'm going to take this part right here between the 2 fingers, and I am going to pull it out almost like a slingshot, right? And then, oops, a slingshot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside of that one. I'm going to go outside of this one over the other finger. I'm going to pull it through that hole, and then I'm going to drop my thumb and just pull. So look at that. I now have 2 stitches on there. So I'm going to go back into the slingshot, right? The slingshot. Outside, outside, the one in the back, pull it through the hole and drop the thumb and kind of tug it. Back to the slingshot. Outside of this, outside of the one of the forefinger, bring that loop through the hole, drop the thumb, and tug it. Outside, outside, through the hole, drop the thumb and tug it. Outside, outside, through the hole, drop the thumb and tug it. Okay? So we have to make 30 of these. Back to the slingshot. Outside, outside, through the hole, drop the thumb. Slingshot. Outside, outside, through the hole, drop the thumb and tug it. Okay, so how many do I have here? Let's count the loops. 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 8 stitches. So I've put on my 30 stitches, and I'm going to count them. I've stretched them out a little bit, and I'm going to count them by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and 30. So those are my 30 stitches. I'm going to turn the needle around, so I've got the working end in my left hand, and I'm going to grab the contrasting ball of yarn I'm going to use, and I'm going to grab the tail. I'm going to make it kind of like I guess about like a 6-inch section of it right there. I'm going to take my other needle, and I'm going to go through the first stitch like this. So if you get up close, let me drop that for a second. Get up close. Do you see how I'm taking that first stitch? I'm going in through the side door like that with the second needle. Then I'm going to take that loop that I had just made, and I'm going to just drag it over. It's just a folded piece of yarn. Drag that over that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that piece of purple loop back through the orange. So I've actually worked 1 stitch now. So I can take it off the loop there, the needle. So now I'm going to take the needle again. I'm going to go through the next one. I'm going to drop the tail end, and I'm going to grab the end that's attached to the ball, and I'm going to drag it around the needle like that. I'm tugging a little tight so that it stays on there, and then I'm going to push that needle back through, and now I've got 2 stitches worked. Go in through the side door of the yarn like that. Take the yarn, go back around. It's kind of hard to show because I'm so close. See it right there? Just going back around, I'm kind of tugging it a little bit. With this finger, it kind of helps to so that the purple doesn't pop off. Oops, it popped off. So grab that, pull it around, push it back through, and now I've got 3. In through the side door, push it around like that, push it back through the window, and then off. So I've got a stupid saying that I do. In through the side door, round the back, back through the window, off jumps Jack. In through the side door, round the back, back through the window, off jumps Jack. It's silly, but it helps. So I'm going in through the side door, I'm going around the back, I'm pushing it back through the window, the purple, back through the orange hole, and then off jumps Jack. Okay? So you have to work the entire row this way, and then you're going to count to make sure you still have 30 stitches on your needle. Okay? Go for it. So I've just finished the first row, and so we cast on, and that's the orange, and I like to pull this stuff down so you can see it at the bottom. You have the orange at the bottom, and you have 1 row of purple at the top. Do you see this little orange, I guess it's like a bar at the bottom? That's called purl. When this is facing you, you are purling. And we're going to turn the knitting around, and you're going to look at the bottom of this, and do you see a V at the bottom? Do you see that V? That's called knitting. So if the working thing, the needle, is in the correct hand, the left hand if you're a right-handed person, and you see that V at the bottom, then you are going to be knitting now. So our first row we purled. Hi, kitty. The second row we're knitting, okay? So you're going to take your needle, you're going to put it in, and you're going to go in a little differently. When the purling, we're going in through the side door. In the knitting, you're going to go out the back, okay? So out the back, you're going to take your purple yarn, put it through the needle, through the 2 needles, and you're going to pull that forward. And then you're going to go off jump Jack. So in through this back door, hey kitty, round the back, forward through the window, off jumps Jack. Out the back door, round the back, forward through the window, off jumps Jack. Oh, Bumble. Out through the back door, round the back, forward through the hole, off jumps Jack. Out through the back door, round the back, forward through the hole, off jumps Jack. And I'm noticing that the stitch is really big and loose. Don't worry, the end stitches of each row are always big and loose. They get sewn into the edges and you don't have to worry about them. You're going to turn it around now, and you have the bar at the bottom again. So what happens when you have the bar at the bottom? You purl. And if you look at your yarn here, you will notice that there is the orange ball of yarn is attached here also. So you can either use the purple or you can use the orange. We're going to flip back on this row with the bar at the bottom, the purl rows, to the other color yarn. So we just used purple, we're going to use orange. So in through the side door. You're going to take your orange ball of yarn. They tend to get looped around each other. You went in through the side door, but instead of using the purple, I'm going to use the orange. So it's between the needles, push it back through the window, just the same as normal, and then off jumps Jack. In through the side door, round the back through the window, off jumps Jack. In through the side door, round the back through the window, off jumps Jack. So you notice you're going from purple to orange. So instead of having purple stitches on the row, we have orange stitches. All right, keep going. So every 2 rows, you're going to switch to the other color when you get over to the side that has the other color. So this is what, again, I like to pull this down. This is what it looks like after you've cast on a row, did 2 rows of purple and did 1 row of orange. So I'm going to do another row of orange, flip to the purple, again for 2 rows, and keep moving up. I'll show you after a little bit. I've got my working end right here, and I have facing me something that looks like these at the bottom, right? So, and notice how different that looks from the other side. The other side has all these bumps, right? So this is called knitting on this side. When I'm doing the other side, it's purling. So you want to count the number of rows you have every once in a while just to see how much farther you have to go. And it's easier to count on the side with the V's, the knit side, rather than the purl side. I don't know how to count on this, but this one is easy. We're doing 2 rows of each color. So I'm going to count the first row as these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and I have 1 orange, 19. So we've got 34 rows. So 2, 4, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34. So we've got 34 rows done. That means we're ready to cast off. So we're going to turn the work around so that we've got our working end of our needle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cast off. This one, our goal is to have 0 stitches or no stitches on the other needle. So that's our goal. We only want 1 or 0 on this needle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the opposite yarn. So I'm going to go through the side door because this is a purl, go around with the orange yarn, push it back through the window, pull it off. So now I've got 1 stitch on this needle. My goal is to have 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stitch, put it over the needle, and kind of hide it over here. So I'm going to pretend it's not there. Then I'm going to do a normal purl stitch. Pull it off, take the purple stitch off, and then I'm going to take that hidden orange stitch off. I'm going to tug it, and that's that stitch, that little orange thing right there. I'm just tug it a little bit, but don't tug it too tight. You want it to be kind of really loose. So I've got 1 stitch on this, whoops, 1 stitch on this needle over here, and I'd rather have 0, so I'm going to hide this over here. So it's hidden over there. You see it? Woo, hide it. And I'm going to purl the stitch. Whoops. Pull it through. Take off the purple stitch. Take off the orange stitch. Just kind of tug it a little bit. So there's that little stitch laying on the side right there. Then I'm going to hide the stitch. This is called casting off, and it is getting rid of stitches. So I'm going to go in through the side door, take the orange yarn, pull it around, push it back. Oops, I have to do that again. damn it. Push it back, pull it off, pull the orange stitch off, tug a little bit. And so each time I do this, I have fewer stitches. So now I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, plus this guy over here. So each time I do this, I have one stitch less. Okay? Take the orange, knit it, purl it, pull the purple one off, pull the orange one off, then I just have one less. Hide the stitch, bring it around, off, tug, hide the next one. It's getting kind of loose over there, so I'm going to tighten it up. All right. And then all the way to the end, okay? Okay, so I am down to my last purl casting off. So I'm going to take the stitch, hide it like I normally have been doing, purl the stitch, pull that off, and now I've got 0 stitches on this needle, and I've got the 1 stitch left, the 1 loop. I'm going to take the ball of yarn, the orange ball, I'm going to push it through the circle, and then when you pull it, there you go, all done. And if you want to, you can just cut off these edges, but give yourself like, you know, a good 12 inches, because we're going to use that 12 inches to sew it onto the to the other squares. All right, thank you.